Hey there, my name is Shane Craddock, and this is the Inner Edge podcast, where I share a different take on how to lead and live a sustainable high-performance life. Over the course of different episodes, I'm going to challenge the belief that tension, stress, and struggle are essential to success and creativity. My experience is that there's an easier way, there's a better way, and indeed there's an essential way that we need to explore for the times that we live in. So let's go ahead, let's jump in and explore. Hi there, welcome to the Inner Edge with myself, Shane Craddock. Today, I just want to talk about your body. Well, not your body specifically, but just listening to the body, your body in general. Because I think it's pretty fair to say that your body has very high intelligence, and the question is, are you listening to it? Now, there was a period in my life before I get into any of this mental side of things that the only time I would ever really slow down was when I got sick, when I got ill. And certainly as an adult, what would happen would be the same pattern would emerge. The end of the year, when I slow down at Christmas time, inevitably I would get sick. I'd get the flu, I'd get a heavy cold, or I'd just be in bed for a few days. And I think that was my body's way of putting manners on me to say, hey, you're not slowing down. So we're going to use this opportunity not just to regenerate your body and fix things, but also we're going to give you some ideas. We're actually going to give you some clarity. And bizarrely for me anyway, that's often when I would get my best ideas about direction changes. And for example, if I was unhappy with work, it was always a telltale sign that I would start to get sick. And not just at Christmas, at any time. Or if there was something majorly off in my life, my body would just get sick. And I think it was just the body just being very clever at making me slow down. And maybe it would then give me some information. It just happened too many times. And I think with the way the world has gone and is going with our busyness, our distraction, and our tech culture, which really is bringing us more into our minds, always looking at screens, always connected, always on, that there's this kind of hustle culture that's come in, this busyness, and it's almost like a way of life, but it is leading to burnout. And when you're that busy, it's just much harder to listen to the intelligence of your body. And without a doubt, it's very clear now from a scientific point of view that there is a brain-body connection, there's a brain-mind connection. What's also interesting about that is, if you look at neural activity, say for example in your gut, there's quite a lot of neural activity in your gut, so much so that some scientists have nicknamed the neurons lining our guts as our second brain. And what's interesting about that is they've discovered that the flow of neurons to the fibers in what's called the primary visceral nerve, the vagus, which carries information between the gut and the brain, that actually 90% of the flow of information goes from the gut to the brain, not the other way around. So there's a huge amount of stuff. Now, this wasn't evidence. That wasn't there 15 years ago, as far as I know. It's science is showing more and more. And this is my guess now, nothing to back this up other than Shane's pure guesswork. I believe in the future they'll discover that there's neural activity pretty much in every cell in our body. Your fingertip, your little toe, your arm. Every part of you, I believe, has information. So the healthier your body is, obviously the better, but also the clearer the mind-body connection is, which means really the more relaxed your system is, the more relaxed your mind is, then there's a higher chance of information flow, not just from the mind to the body, which is important, but also then from the body to the mind, because we mightn't be open to that. That's why you'll hear more and more, even in a leadership context, they'll often talk now about the mind or the head, the heart and the soul, because they're recognizing that there's information inside us, maybe coming from the unconscious mind or at a deep cellular level, that our bodies are picking up stuff. If you've ever had the experience of or a knowing that somebody's going to ring you, and then the next thing is that they ring you, what is that? Now, we can all have our interpretation as to what it is. The problem is that we very often override what the body is telling us. It might be saying, actually, I'm tired. I'd like some rest. And fair enough, certainly in a busy world, business context or family context, sometimes you just have to push through and get something done. But if it's like that all the time, and we keep ignoring the signals that our body's giving us, that isn't going to end well. I think it's one of the reasons I think that we're seeing more and more stress on the increase, all the indicators around stress that are there. But personally, one of the things that I've learned from my body is it's an incredibly powerful mechanism in terms of showing me my thinking. And it's kind of like I see it as a quality control mechanism for my thinking. So, for example, if I have a feeling of stress or anxiety or tension, I find that very useful because my body is telling me that there's thinking. There's some sort of tense thinking, anxious thinking that's come in maybe the back of my mind, and it's there. Now, in the past, before I kind of saw it that way, what I would do is if I was feeling tense, I'd kind of almost get annoyed at myself for feeling tense. So I'd get anxious about feeling tense. Or I remember coming out of my depression, if I had any sort of a feeling of depression coming out of it, it would make me afraid. So I'd react to the feeling, which was kind of my body was telling me, no, you're thinking something that's making you depressed, so maybe change it. Instead of doing that, I was actually reacting to it. This is really powerful if you can see it this way. And so now I find it incredibly powerful to kind of just tune into my body when my mind is clear. As I say, a 3C state, calm, clear, centered. My body's in good shape, as in not necessarily physically, but just like it's nice and relaxed. And if a feeling comes in that's in the negative side, we'll say tension, anxiety, doubt, I know now that actually I can just sit with that feeling. So if I fully feel the feeling, go, oh, that means I'm thinking something that's causing that feeling, because your feeling is directly 100% connected to your thinking. And if you're new to these podcasts, go back and listen to some of the earlier ones where I explained the logic and some of the science around that whatever you're feeling is 100% connected to your thinking. And so the body, one of the most amazing things that it does, I mean, it does all these amazing things for us, like in terms of breathing, it pumps our heart, pumps our blood around our system, it regenerates our body. It's an incredible mechanism, absolutely incredible. But one of the things that I value it the most for, it's quality control check on Shane's thinking. So I don't necessarily need to know all the exact thinking, because sometimes most of the thinking that matters most is in the unconscious. It's at the back of our mind. It's not always easy to see. But if I'm feeling off or feeling into those kind of feelings that they're not particularly helpful, I find that very useful. Now I just sit with the feeling in silence, in awareness, just tune into it and don't react to it. It just tells me, oh, there's thinking there that needs to clear out. And what I find very interesting is that the less effort I make to change that feeling or thinking, and I more just sit with it, the better. It just moves on in time. But what about you? Like, what is your body telling you at the moment? Are you given a time to even communicate with you? Are you open to actually hearing the message from your body? It could be from your gut. It could be from something else. But here's an interesting question, maybe for your mind to play with. If your body could talk, what do you think it would say? Would it say, oh God, I need rest. I need you to stop worrying. I just need you to stop. I need you to go for a walk. I need you to choose better thoughts. I need you to stop being so busy with your mind, or just stop being so busy with life. I'd like a little bit of exercise. I'd like less alcohol, or I'd like to have a drink of alcohol. Like, what do you think your body would say? Because there's no doubt about it, your body is always looking to communicate with you. It's a real asset. But if we're stuck in our heads all the time, not even looking in that direction, maybe we're going to miss really important messages. And there's a quote, it's very simple. I love it, from Jim Rohn. It says, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And it's a great quote. And I know there's plenty of people listening to this podcast that are big into their health, which is fantastic. But maybe consider today using your body and that feeling inside your body as that quality control mechanism for your thinking and your feeling. And when you go outside where you want to be, in terms of moving from the good feeling to the bad, we call it bad and net good, even though it's quite binary. When you move into the negative feelings, the bad feelings for you, instead of reacting to it, just see what it's telling you about your thinking or about your situation. But you don't necessarily have to believe that it's true, because that's the other side of things. Just because you feel off, it doesn't mean it's true at all. It just means that your thinking is making you feel that way, and you can always challenge your thinking. That's it for this week. Ciao for now.